She only wanted a quiet night away, a simple hotel stay. But instead, she became the center of suspicion. One missing piece of jewelry, one whisper, and suddenly the entire lobby turned against her. She hadn't stolen anything. She hadn't even moved. Yet all eyes locked on her, as if guilt was written on her skin. In minutes, she went from guest to suspect, from welcome to unwelcome, from dignity to humiliation. But the truth, the real truth, was about to surface. And when it did, it would leave the entire room in stunned silence. The question is, will you be stunned too? Alicia Daniels wasn't looking for drama. She wasn't famous, wasn't rich. Just an ordinary woman carrying years of hard work on her shoulders. That night she checked into a beautiful hotel, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, a place designed to make guests feel important. For a moment she did feel important. She smiled, handed over her ID, and slid her credit card across the counter. But then, the atmosphere shifted. The receptionists exchanged glances, tight smiles, the kind you notice but try to ignore. Alicia brushed it off. Then, it happened. Guest reported a missing diamond bracelet. Panic spread. Staff scrambled, voices sharpened, and somehow suspicion landed on her. Why her? Why so fast? She thought it was a mistake, that someone would quickly clear it up. But instead, words flew. Accusations whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear. Strangers leaned in. Guests stared. Phones came out. And just like that, the story was written. She was no longer Alicia Daniels' guest. She was Alicia Daniels, suspect. And the worst part? She hadn't even moved from her spot. That's when Alicia realized this wasn't about a bracelet. This was about something much deeper. The tension thickened. The manager approached. Sharp suit, smooth smile, a voice soaked in false politeness. "Ma'am, we just need to check a few things." Her heart sank. She looked around, no friendly faces, just judgment. Then came the humiliation. Right there in the center of the lobby, they demanded her bag. She watched, frozen, as her suitcase was unzipped, clothes pulled out, tossed onto the cold marble floor. Her belongings, private, personal, exposed under the eyes of strangers. Strangers recording her shame. She tried to protest, her words drowned out by whispers. In that moment, her voice meant nothing compared to their suspicion. And still, nothing. No bracelet. The receptionist who had pointed fingers now avoided her gaze. But it didn't matter. The crowd had already decided. Alicia's dignity was stripped bare, and just when it seemed the weight of injustice would crush her, something shifted. A voice. A gasp. A woman across the lobby raised her hand, and there it was, the missing bracelet. It hadn't been stolen. It hadn't been hidden. It had slipped beneath a chair cushion. All along. The truth was sitting in plain sight. Silence swept the room. Nervous laughter followed. Staff exhaled in relief. Not because Alicia was cleared, but because their image was safe. But Alicia, she wasn't relieved, because even though the bracelet was found, the damage had already been done. The manager rushed to her. His words tripped over each other. Apologies, excuses, misunderstanding, protocol. But Alicia didn't answer. She stood still. Her hands trembled, not with guilt, but with rage, with pain. Guests shuffled away, embarrassed. Some whispered excuses to themselves. They were just doing their job. But Alicia knew the truth. This was never about, a bracelet. It was about perception, bias, the quick, easy way people believed the worst about her. She gathered her belongings, one shirt at a time, folding them carefully, a quiet act of reclaiming her dignity. Her silence, cut deeper than any words could. That night, Alicia walked out of the hotel, but she carried more than her suitcase. She carried the sting of humiliation, the burn of injustice, a memory she could never forget. Yes, the bracelet was found. Yes, her name was cleared. But the scars? Those stayed. The guests who watched? They left with a haunting memory, too. They saw how quickly suspicion took root, how easily dignity was stripped away. And the staff? They tried to bury it with excuses, but Alicia's silence spoke louder than their apologies. In the days that followed, the story spread, first among guests, then across social media. What happened in that lobby became more than just a single incident. It became a mirror, a reflection of something bigger, because prejudice doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it hides behind policy. Sometimes it wears the mask of procedure. But its damage is the same. Alicia's story isn't just hers. It's a story of many, a story that repeats, a story we can't keep ignoring. And so I ask you, when prejudice unfolds in front of you, will you stand silent like the crowd? Or will you be the one who speaks because silence is its own kind of complicity?